Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to Upkick MMA, episode 233. I am Brendan. UFC 285, John Jones versus Cyril Gane. This is going to be the early prelims. If you're looking for the regular prelims, that's in the last video. If you're looking for the main card and the main event, that's in the video before that. We are going to break down all of the fights on the early prelims here, including the Ian Garry Kenan fight, Cameron Saaiman versus Martinez, Tabatha Ricci versus Jessica Penne, Farid Basharat versus Damon Blackshear, and Loik Radzhabov versus Esteban Ribovics. And we will cover all of those here. We're going to break them down round by round. Before we get started, real quick, subscribe to the channel if you like that kind of stuff so you know when the next video is coming out. I'd really appreciate it. I do 2 or 3 videos every single week covering UFC, PFL, and all that good stuff. Let's get started. Okay. The next big star from Ireland, Ian Garry. Kind of. He's got some weaknesses, right? You know, like he gets hit a lot, and I have a feeling he's going to take some damage at the higher levels here, but he's doing what he said he was going to do, and he is still undefeated. And I think he's doing a better job of it than the Paddy Pimbletts of the world. So, you know, yes, he's stepping up more slowly in competition. I think it's similar to, forgot my mood lighting. Oh, yeah. I think it's similar to the situation I highlighted on the when I covered the main card, the Khamzat Chimaev versus oh my God, Shavkat Rakhmonov, right? Like they couldn't be more opposite, both in their fight style, their demeanor, like all those things, right? But they came in about the same time, and they have the same goal, right? Talking about becoming a champion, and it's just with Ian Garry and Paddy Pimblett. Ian Garry has been adamant and kind of loud about all this stuff, but he's doing the damn thing. You know, he's coming out there, he's working hard, he's relatively respectful. I don't think he's quite Conor McGregor, right? Obviously, that's who inspired him to come out and do those kinds of things. But it's just, I like what I'm seeing from him. I think he's showing improvement, and if he can just move his damn head off that center line, I think he can do some more nasty work to these people. He's got great timing. He's got great striking. He's got excellent vision, ring generalship. He's got all that stuff. He just needs to move that head off that center line when he's throwing out the strikes and getting in those long exchanges. He's getting hit the way that Stephen Thompson can get hit, right, with that similar style, the lean back and all that stuff. So he can get caught just like Stephen Thompson can get caught. I just feel like Thompson is better in the blitz, right? He's better at managing the distance than Garry has been so far. All right, the low kicks from Garry early were making some Song move weird a lot. He wasn't able to put a lot of weight on that front leg for a little bit. Song lands a left hook that dropped Garry. Holy shit. This first round, man, Garry got dropped hard. And it's a weird round because Garry seemed to land more shots, but then again, you look at these striking numbers. Song Kenan landed more, 22-15, significant strikes, so he landed more anyway. But I gave that first round to Kenan, obviously because of the knockdown. I felt like he did more damage with that, and as all the good work Garry did, I feel like he just wasn't able to make up that difference. Second round here, Garry staying measured and landing those low kicks and that jab much better. Garry with almost perfect round, only taking a couple shots, in my opinion, of any significance. When he stayed in the firefight, he was leaning out of the way of that left hook that was coming from Kenan that he got caught with earlier. So if you look at the second round, he really started to put it on him. 42 significant strikes landed to only taking 17. Beautiful round for him. Like I said, near perfect. Obviously, he did take a little bit of damage, but not much. Then Garry was staying patient in the third round, entering and feinting, using his jab. Garry was attempting a flying knee a couple times in that fight. Garry mixed it up to the body using hard hooks, and then Garry used a beautiful jab and just started unloading and to get the finish in the end here. 70 significant strikes landed, 16 received. This guy is the real deal. He is, man. He's the real deal. It's not that he's a perfect fighter. He's absolutely not. It's not that he's some ungodly talent that we've never seen before. We've seen stuff like this before. It's just, can he keep the same kind of intensity and the same kind of success when he's facing people with similar ability and vision, right? That's going to be the key. Can he stay on his feet when a guy is going to try and wrestle fuck him to the ground, right? We shall see going forward. All right. Like I said, I always say, if you're looking for a specific fight, specific breakdown, the timestamps are down below. Speaking of which, let's move on to Cameron Saaiman versus Mana Martinez. Unfortunate, man. Unfortunate, because I hope the talk in this for Saaiman isn't the fouls. I really do. It's unfortunate, and he absolutely did commit those fouls, and it could have compromised Martinez. It just didn't seem like Martinez was doing anything beforehand that would, and he got punished for it. So let's just talk about it. So Martinez missed weight by a pound, by the way. Oh yeah, I didn't even mention that in the Shavkat fight. Yeah, that freaking Neal missed weight by 5 freaking pounds. Anyway, Martinez missed weight by 1 pound. That's not cool. Saaiman has more variety. Mana was sticking to the boxing for the most part. He has the slicker hands, that's for sure. Saaiman seemed to have lost some feeling in his left foot a bit. It didn't seem to cost him in that first round, but then he landed on his first nut shot. Great kicks from Saaiman, including hard body kicks, and then there's a second nut shot, and that should cost him a point. So it did. The first round here, there was great kicks from him. Saaiman landed a great left hand. Mana landed some decent punches of his own, especially to the body. That round, it was clearly Cameron's, but the problem was, he had to have that point deduction, so that's a 9-9 round. 40-28 as far as significant strikes go. He clearly was the better fighter in there. He was more measured. He landed the cleaner strikes pretty much the entire fight, and he just did a better job in that fight, handling everything that he needed to do outside of not committing fouls. Like, I'm not going to excuse his foul because he does kick high to the inside leg, right? So if you're kicking high to the inside leg, there's a good chance that any sort of movement is going to cause you to kick the groin. You can't do that stuff. He's going to have to change that. Cameron has landed some really nasty hooks to the body, and his kicks are freaking hard. Mana was landing better in the second round. Saaiman not exiting well after he was throwing. A jab from Saaiman after some damage dropped Mana, and he spent the rest of the round landing some good ground and pound. I gave him that round 10-9. I have him up 19-18. Saaiman was landing heavy, like 2 left hands and then a hard left kick to the body. Mana got poked in the eye after taking a ton of damage. Again, unfortunate, man. Saaiman worked for a takedown, and it's also his fault. He's reaching out with his fingers extended. You can't do that stuff. Saaiman worked for a takedown. I'm guessing he did this to reduce the risk of fouls, and he knows he's up in the fight, so he's just looking to kind of like eke out a good win here. He did outstrike him anyway, 45-14. Previous round was 32-18. Saaiman spent the last 2 minutes of the round laying out some ground and pound, and gets a win for me, 29-27. And the scorecards were everywhere. So you had 29-26. So someone gave a 10-8 round. So Adelaide Bird gave a 10-8 round to Saaiman. I didn't see a 10-8 in there, but okay. Then you had Chris Lee giving it 28-27. Wait, how do you do that? 28-27. And then Saul D'Amato called it a draw, giving 2 rounds to Mana. Or giving that first round, he must have given that first round to Mana, and then the second 2 rounds to Cameron. Freaking weird, dude. Anyway, I mean, I really don't want to get into scorecard. Hey, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do the damn thing, because we need to know what's going on. Like, you can't just let that stuff go. That's not okay. Yeah. Scorecards. What did you guys think of the fights? I mean, did you guys watch the early prelims? Like, am I just talking to the ether here? Did you guys watch any of this stuff? I'm just curious. I want to know what you guys saw here. Okay. All right, here we go. So, Adelaide Bird's card. That first round she had it a draw. Okay, that's correct. Second round, she gave to Cameron. All right, and she gave that third round a 10-8 to Cameron. All right, Adelaide. I mean, I don't agree with that one, but that's fine. Saul D'Amato gave that first round to Mana Martinez. I don't agree with that, Saul. I think you missed the boat on that one, bud. And then Chris Lee giving the first round to Mana. Oh, my God. That's how he got that scorecard. That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense how he got the scorecard, but I don't agree with it. He had to give that. If he didn't give that last round a 10-8, this would have been a majority draw. Good grief. That's unfortunate. Anyway, it's a good win for Cameron. I believe that he does have the skills to be successful in the bantamweight division. I think he's a little bit hittable, and he can take some damage, and he needs to get control of his goddamn tools if he's planning on putting together a successful, consistent career. It is hard to do that when you are constantly losing points. So it could just be a run of bad luck here, or it might be a pattern. We'll see if it's a John Jones thing. All right, Tabatha Ricci taking on Jessica Penne. Tabatha Ricci just outworked her. She's just hard, like hits harder. She's stronger. Even on the ground when she was losing certain positions, she just didn't want to do it. We'll go over it. So Ricci was starting really fast. She got the takedown early. Ricci is tight. She's tight. She's moving fast. She's clearly stronger, but she doesn't want to engage on the ground. So it looked very similar to certain grappling matches when you watch them. One guy doesn't want to engage with the other guy's guard, so he'll get in and then he'll back off, and then he'll move in and then he'll back off, and that's kind of what was happening here. Ricci spent a long time just standing over Penne, kicking her legs. I'm not a fan of that. I think you get like 2 or 3 kicks, and then the ref's got to stand you up. I don't think that's okay unless you're constantly landing kicks. Yeah, I don't agree with that one. Jason Herzog let them do that for frickin' 2 minutes, but he stood up the main event or the co-main event after Valentina works her way down there. Anyway, Penne was content to stay on her back. Ricci is content to let her stay down there and kick her. It didn't make it the most interesting fight to watch that first round. Obviously, it was Ricci's 26-3. She is an incredible talent in this division. Ricci finally engages and got the armbar. She rolled in. It was a great finish in this second round. That armbar that she got was fantastic. I mean, if you didn't watch the early prelims, there was some good stuff to see in here. So I do recommend going and watching that. All righty. Damon Blackshear versus Farid Basharat. This fight wasn't bad. Trading low kicks, Farid was much more open, using a great variety to land and keep Damon on the defensive. He even got a takedown. Farid took that first round, way more activity, landing much more in from what I saw, and that plays out here in the significant strikes, 17-9. I felt like he did more damage, so 10-9. Damon with a good takedown and got into position and landing a small amount of ground and pound, but Farid got the takedown, and he did way more damage from his position, so I had him up 20-18, plus he landed more strikes anyway, so 21-15 in favor of Basharat. For 21, yeah, as far as the significant strikes go, so I had him up 20-18, and then Blackshear just spent too much time on his back. Neither guy did anything significant in this last round until like the last 20 seconds, and then Blackshear landed a good right hand on the ground, and then Blackshear locked up a triangle with only 10 seconds left. It was just too late in the game, and I gave it to Farid. I gave him that last round, but if you look at the striking numbers here, Blackshear did win that last round as far as the striking went, and he did have the significant submission there right at the end, locked up. I mean, it was a great finish for him. I just didn't see it swing that round for me, but I guess you could. I guess you could have that. That doesn't make me upset. It was close enough to where that's okay. I mean, that's really not that big of a deal. It wasn't inconsequential because going forward, it does determine. Well, it is kind of inconsequential. Anyway, first fight of the card: Esteban Ribovics versus Loik Radzhabov. Jaguar paw. That's a fun one. All right, Loik landed a huge right hand to start the fight. Oh, this fight was fantastic. I recommend, if you didn't watch the early prelims, just go back and watch this fight for sure. It really is worth watching. He landed a huge right hand to start the fight. Ribovics was out of it, and he ended up getting taken down. Loik landed another wide right hook as Esteban landed some jabs. Loik took that round. Esteban can come back if he avoids that right hand and can use that Kimura that he was throwing out there nonstop to get sweeps and stuff. Because if you look at the striking numbers, Esteban landed more. He had that sweep, but Radzhabov dropped him, and he landed so much more damage. But he only landed 8 strikes to Ribovics 14, so his volume just wasn't there. It's just the power was in his favor. A nice combo from Esteban landed early. It seemed to hurt Loik a little bit, but he ended up getting taken down immediately. Great combo from Esteban going to the body, then going upstairs multiple times. Loik is hurt near the end of the round 2. Then the combo from and the amount of just sheer amount of strikes from Ribovics was able to hurt Loik out, and He did all the takedowns. Why did I wrote this like I was suffering from a stroke? Good grief, Brendan. Anyway, Esteban outstruck him 25-13 in this round. Ahead at 19-19, meaning this last round was the determining round. Right hand from Loik to start the round, and he's hurting Esteban a couple times with that. Esteban used the Kimura sweep again, takes him out momentarily. Esteban appeared to rock Loik a bit, but that last round had way too much in the favor of Loik. He had hurt him early and in the last in the last round, and he had a ton of control. So even though these striking numbers, again, they look deceiving, 27-19 in favor of Ribovics, but the problem is the damage came from Radzhabov, and if you look at the control time, Radzhabov also had 2 minutes of control time in this round and 2 minutes of control time in the second round and 3 minutes. So clearly he was doing that stuff. I think they got this one right. 29-28 is how I scored it. That is how the judges scored it on all three cards as well. All right. That is it. That is the early prelims. If you are looking for the prelims, this is in the last one. If you're looking for the main card, that's in the previous video to that one. Thank you guys so much for watching this stuff. It means a lot to me. Let me know if you guys want. Let me know what you guys thought. Did you guys watch the early prelims? My opinion, for sure. Like, I think these are worth throwing on in the background while you're doing some stuff this week. If you didn't take a look at these, definitely watch the Ribovics versus Radzhabov one. Blackshear versus Basharat wasn't bad. Ricci versus Penne was pretty good. Saaiman versus Martinez minus the freaking fouls. You can fast forward through that stuff was good. And Garry versus Kenan being the featured early prelim. That was a banger, dude. I think this card was fantastic. I think the main card did a decent job as well. Like start to finish, this one was pretty good. So I do recommend watching this stuff. Yeah, sometime this week. If you didn't catch these, definitely go back and watch some of these fights. Subscribe to the channel so you know the next video is coming out. I do this kind of stuff, 2 or 3 videos every single week, breaking down fights, different organizations. I love all this. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys have an amazing week, and I love y'all.